At that time, it became clear something was not quite right with me. Already in Oxford, I had noticed that I could no longer row a sculling boat properly. The Christmas after arriving in Cambridge, I went home. It was a very cold winter and my mother persuaded me to go skating on the lake in St. Albans, even though I knew I was not up to it. I fell over and had great difficulty getting up again. My mother realized something was wrong and took me to the doctor. I spent weeks in Bart's hospital and had many tests. They never actually told me what was wrong, but I guessed enough to know it was pretty bad, so I didn't want to ask. In fact, the doctor who diagnosed me washed his hands of me, and I never saw him again. He felt that there was nothing that could be done. In effect, my father became my doctor, and it was to him that I turned for advice. At first I became depressed. I seemed to be getting worse pretty rapidly. There didn't seem any point working on my PhD, because I didn't know if I would live long enough to finish it. But then the condition developed more slowly, and I began to make progress in my work. After my expectations had been reduced to zero, every new day became a bonus, and I began to appreciate everything I did have. While there's life, there is hope. And there was also a young woman called Jane, whom I had met at a party. Getting engaged lifted my spirits, and I realized if we were going to get married, I had to get a job and finish my PhD. I began to work hard, and I enjoyed it. The big question in cosmology in the early 60s was, did the universe have a beginning? Many scientists were instinctively opposed to the idea, because they felt that a point of creation would be a place where science broke down. One would have to appeal to religion and the hand of God to determine how the universe would start off. Two alternative scenarios were therefore put forward. One was the steady-state theory, in which as the universe always expanded, a new matter was continually created to keep the density constant on average. By the time I began my research, the steady-state theory was already in trouble with observations, but the final nail in the coffin came with the discovery of a faint background of microwave radiation in 1964. The only reasonable interpretation of the background is that it is radiation left over from an early very hot and dense state. As the universe expanded, the radiation would have cooled, until it is just the faint remnant we observe today. But there was a second alternative to a beginning in time, which is a bouncing, or even cyclic, universe. Perhaps the universe had a previous contracting phase, and that it had bounced from contraction to expansion at a high but finite density. This was clearly a fundamental question, and it was just what I needed to complete my PhD thesis.